don't adjust your screens, and don't look at the calendar. You haven't traveled back in time, but the motorcycle industry is about to feel like it has. We live in an era of plastic fairings, silent electric motors, and bikes that look more like spaceships than machines. The soul of the road has been slowly suffocated by traction control algorithms and sterile efficiency. But rumor has turned into reality. The sleeping giant of Milwaukee has finally woken up. And they didn't just bring a knife to the gunfight, they brought a sledgehammer. Stop what you are doing, because the bike I am about to describe to you isn't just a new model year. It is a ghost that has returned to save Harley-Davidson for a second time. This is the 2026 Model D. The history, why the D matters. To understand the gravity of this release, we have to look into the rearview mirror. The year was 1929. The stock market had just crashed, the world was plunging into the Great Depression, and Harley-Davidson needed a miracle to survive. That miracle was the original Model D, the first of the legendary 45 cubic inch flatheads. It was a bike built on grit, reliability, and accessibility. It was the bike that kept the lights on in Milwaukee when competitors were closing their doors. Now, nearly a century later, Harley faces a different kind of depression, an identity crisis in a changing world. They needed a machine that bridges the gap between the die-hard traditionalists and the new generation. The 2026 Model D is their answer. It is a love letter to the past, written with the technology of the future. Visual mastery, industrial art on wheels. Let's walk around this machine in our minds. The first thing that arrests your attention is the stance. Most modern cruisers try too hard. They are either too raked out or too compact. The 2026 Model D strikes a terrifyingly perfect balance. It sits long and low, hugging the asphalt with a menacing gravity. Harley has ditched the excessive chrome for a finish they are calling Parkerized obsidian, a matte, industrial dark grey that looks like gunmetal. The tank is the centerpiece. It's a reimagined teardrop shape, slightly narrower than the Fat Bob, featuring a revival of the 1929 Art Deco tank badge that hasn't been seen on a production bike in decades. The fenders are bobbed, exposing massive, chunky tires that look ready to tear up gravel or tarmac. But the most controversial and brilliant design choice is the lighting. At first glance, you see a single, round retro headlight bucket. But when you turn the key, the bucket splits. It is actually a dual-element LED array that projects a beam capable of cutting through the darkest night, hidden behind a lens that looks like vintage glass. It is deception at its finest. The engine, the Ironheart 900. Now let's talk about the beating heart of the beast. Everyone expected the liquid-cooled Revolution Max engine from the Sportster S. Everyone was wrong. For the Model D, Harley engineers went back to the drawing board to create something entirely unique, the Ironheart 900. This is a 900cc air and oil-cooled, the V-twin that defies modern logic. In a world chasing high horsepower, this engine chases torque. They have tuned this engine to deliver maximum power at just 2,500 RPM. It's a stump puller. The cylinders are finned deeply, mimicking the old flatheads. But hidden within those fins are high-efficiency oil channels that keep the engine cool even in stop-and-go traffic. The sound? They've engineered the exhaust note to skip a beat. It has that uneven, syncopated rhythm, the potato-potato idle, that the liquid-cooled bikes lost. It shudders, it shakes, and it growls. It feels alive beneath you, vibrating just enough to let you know you are riding a mechanical animal, not a computer. The cockpit. Analog soul, digital mind. Swing a leg over the saddle, and you are met with a sprung solo seat. It looks like hard leather from the 1930s, utilizing a cantilever spring system exposed under the seat pan. It looks rigid and uncomfortable, but it's actually filled with memory foam and utilizes a hidden monoshock damper. You get the hardtail look without the spinal compression. The handlebars are wide Hollywood bars with a cross brace, giving you immense leverage. But look at the dash. There is no iPad glued to the handlebars here. There is a single, large analog speedometer mounted on the tank console. The needle is physical, the numbers are painted. But this is where Harley pulls a magic trick. The glass face of the speedometer is actually a transparent OLED overlay. When you need navigation, turn-by-turn arrows float ghost-like over the analog needle. When your phone rings, the caller ID fades in and out. It is technology that knows when to shut up. It allows you to disappear into the ride without being disconnected from the world. The Ride, a middleweight prizefighter. How does it handle? The original 1929 Model D was a tractor. The 2026 Model D is a scalpel disguised as a hammer. The frame is a completely new lightweight steel trellis design, hidden by bodywork to look like a classic double cradle frame. The center of gravity is impossibly low. You don't steer this bike, you think it into corners. The suspension is the real hero here. The front end looks like a vintage Springer fork, heavy, mechanical, and exposed. But look closer. The springs are purely aesthetic covers for high-performance inverted cartridge forks hidden inside the tubes. You get the visuals of a vintage chopper with the damping and rebound control of a modern sport bike. It eats up potholes, tracks true through sweepers, and allows for lean angles that will have you scraping the foot pegs with a grin on your face. The surprise twist, the D stands for dual. I told you there was a surprise in this video, something that binds the audience to this machine. Here it is. We've been talking about the Model D as a cruiser, but Harley has hidden a secret feature that no one saw coming. The D in the 2026 model doesn't just stand for the historic model letter, it stands for dual configuration. This bike is the world's first factory transformer. The rear subframe is modular. By removing 4 bolts, a process that takes less than 5 minutes with the included toolkit, the bike transforms from a solo seat bobber into a 2-up tourer with integrated hardbags. You aren't buying one bike, you are buying 2. You can strip it down for a Friday night bar hop, looking lean and mean. Then Saturday morning, you bolt on the Tour D subframe, and you have a comfortable, luggage-carrying machine ready to cross state lines. Harley has finally solved the dilemma of cool versus practical by giving us both in the same chassis for the same price. The verdict: a new legacy. The 2026 Harley-Davidson Model D is not just a motorcycle, it is a statement of intent. It proves that you can honor your roots without being stuck in the mud. It combines the visceral, tactile joy of the 1920s with the engineering precision of the 2020s. It is aggressive, it is beautiful, and thanks to that modular subframe, it is the most versatile Harley ever made. This is the bike that will bring the old guard back to the dealership and the new riders into the family. The legend hasn't just returned, it has evolved. Outro. Thank you for riding along with us on this journey through the chrome and grit of the new Model D. We want to know, would you use the bobber mode or the tourer mode more? Let us know in the comments below. If you want to stay ahead of the curve with the most in-depth reviews, leaks, and updates in the motorcycle world, make sure you subscribe to Bike Updater Pro. We are the only ones bringing you the future of 2 wheels today. Ride safe, keep the rubber side down, and we will see you on the next one.